All right, Bobby Stokey. Food, wine, sunset. Whoa, what a draw. Can you tell us more about the festival?
Oh, the festival is going to be amazing. This is our 4th year doing the festival down in Key Largo. And there's basically about 30 events spread over 10 days. It starts on Friday, July the 29th, and goes on until Sunday, August the 7th. But most interesting this year, I think, is on August the 6th, we're having a grand tasting event. And this is our first time doing it, but we're going to do it at Rowell's Marina at mile marker 104.5 in Key Largo.
So it's on the marina where the grand tasting?
It's right on the marina, right on the water. And we're going to do it in air-conditioned tents. Cause we know
wow. That's very nice. So an air-conditioned tent on the water,
We're
tasting.
moving up down there.
Exactly. And so we expect to have about 45 restaurants participating in the event, and we have about 100 different wines that are also going to be there, wines and spirits companies. So it should be an amazing event on Florida Bay.
Now this is going to be, when is this going to be?
This is on Saturday, August the 6th, and it's from basically from noon until about 6 p.m. There's 2 different tickets, but basically noon until 6 p.m. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. And like you said, it's only about an hour and 30 minutes from the airport.
Great way to spend a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
So how much are the tickets? How do people get them?
You can get the tickets online. In fact, that's the way you have to get the tickets. It's www.keylargofoodandwinefestival.com. You have to write out the whole thing, but keylargofoodandwinefestival.com.
And spelled out or ampersand?
And spelled out, yeah. So... And but anyway, yeah. So
or maybe just call the Chamber of Commerce.
You could call the Chamber of Commerce, and they can point you in the right direction down in Key Largo. Their phone number is 305-451-1414, and just ask for somebody there at the Chamber, and they can definitely get you pointed in the right direction for the event. But tickets are $75, and it includes all the tastings and wine and food and spirits. Bacardi's going to be there, and there's there's a ton of cooking demos. George, that's with me today, he's doing some of the demos. We have a whole bunch of other chefs that are coming doing demos. Chica Lodge is doing demos. Cayo Grill is doing some demos. So it's going to be a lot of fun, really interesting, and the best restaurants in the Keys are going to be there. Great.
All right. So, well, I know this sounds rather strange, but some of our listeners may not know about the Keys. And Key Largo is the first key.
Yes, it
in
is.
the string of islands that jut out into the Caribbean. And as you mentioned, it's only about an hour and a half from the center of Miami.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's surprising because a lot of people have never been there, but it really is beautiful. And we consider it the first of the Caribbean islands. And it's the Caribbean islands, what we say is the Keys of the Caribbean islands you can drive to. And so, for people that are trying on a budget or even staycations, it's a great place to go. But anyway, Key Largo, or the Florida Keys themselves, are about 112 miles long. But Key Largo is the first key, and right. It's about 12, 14 miles long. It's a great place. It's beautiful. There's lots to do down there. We are known as the diving capital of the world. And so if you're a diver, Key West is famous.
So lots of wonderful things to do. Let's go to Chef George. Chef George, Taster's Grill. What is your role in the festival? What will you be doing?
At the festival, we're going to do a couple different things. At the grand tasting and the finale, we're going to be preparing pan-seared scallops over a pineapple and crab kimchi. I'm also going to do a braised beef short rib with cauliflower.
I was expecting conch salad.
Cauliflower. Yeah, we do a little bit of that too. Try to change it up a bit and put some Asian flair into there. We're going to do a braised beef short rib with the cauliflower and truffle puree with watercress and a natural jus.
Wow.
We're also going to have a dinner at the restaurant, which is going to be called the Pork Revolution.
This is really cool because, as you guys have pointed out already, it's not all seafood. Everybody thinks all conch, all fish. That's not true at all for the Keys cuisine at all right now. I mean, granted, that's still a big part of our deal because it's fresh and it's right there, but there are tons of restaurants doing some great non-seafood dishes.
Well, Bobby, that's something interesting because, as Joe mentioned at the beginning, I wrote a book called Keys Cuisine, and then about 20 years later, this new book, Flavors of the Florida's Keys, came out. And in that time, I found the Keys becoming much more sophisticated in their food. But it's sophisticated, but still funky and laid back. So it still has both of that kind of thing going. So where is Taster's Grill? Taster's Grill.
We opened up 2.5 years ago, and we are in the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center, mile marker 92.
So sort of tucked away in the corner of that shopping center.
Right next to the movie theater.
Right, on which side?
on the southwest corner next to the post office.
Okay, great.
Yep.
All right, so that sounds really terrific. So what are some of the other highlights of the festival? What else is going on besides the grand tasting?
Besides the grand tasting, Senior Frijoles has a really cool event going on called Pollo, Passion, and Pistols. And this is a murder mystery.
Wait, Pollo, Passion, and Pistols?
Pollo, Passion, and Pistols.
Okay, so what is that?
Serious.
Serious. And
That's gonna be fun.
it is a murder mystery that is put on by the Key Players. And for a local theatrical group, they do just an amazing job. And so it's a 4-course dinner paired with wines featuring Mexican food. And then also a play at the same time, and so that's really interesting. And then on
and that's going to be on the opening night, Friday.
That's
the 29th?
opening, Friday the 29th.
Okay.
And then also on Saturday, Sundowners has a night in New Orleans, and for the night in New Orleans, we're featuring the Sauce Boss. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Sauce
He's
Boss.
performed here at the station many times.
Yeah, he's amazing, and his show is great, and he makes gumbo while singing the blues, kind of a New Orleans sort of blues
I
deal.
forget his name, but yeah, he's been here many times.
Yeah, and so he's super fun, and the show's amazing, and so we do this whole thing with that. Of course, George mentioned the Pollo, his Pork
Revolution.
And so that seems like a great event as well. There's cooking demos. There's a lobster know-how down at Ballyhoo's. There's art and food and wine at Snappers.
So let's slow down a little minute here. There's so much going on. Wow. So what is going to happen is that on various nights, different restaurants are going to have events and food, entertainment and food, and it's all a prefix.
Exactly.
Pretty
yes.
much, yeah.
And what I think is amazing is some of these dinners, the 4 or 5 course dinners, they're quite reasonably priced. I'm looking here at that $65, $55, and things like that. That's quite good for a 4-course dinner with
and paired with wine.
And paired with wine.
And with wine, yeah. It's a great. We price point obviously has become way more important these last few years, and we definitely try to focus on price points that we thought were more approachable for our guests. And so we think that the restaurants have done it and they've delivered. And the menus are amazing. And last year I went to a decent number of these events, and every one of them I was pretty much blown away. I mean, and being in the restaurant business, obviously, it's kind of difficult because people in the restaurant business are jaded. So all these events are going to be great.
Okay. Well, let's go for a minute back to Chef George, because he mentioned what he was going to be serving, and he brought some for us to eat. So we're eating it right now, and these flavors are wonderful. There's like the beef has, what's the flavoring of the beef?
It's the braised pork belly. Over the pineapple and crab kimchi. Inside the...
some people... I mean, kimchi is going to be on a lot of menus.
Okay.
Korean foods are sort of exploding, the flavors and all. So what's kimchi?
Is that the stuff that's fermented?
It's a fermented cabbage.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you buy it fermented?
No, we actually do it at the restaurant. We take the cabbage fresh. We take the cabbage, we chop it up, and we put all of our ingredients on it. And there's a vinegar and a sugar and some spice mixed to it, and that helps it get to that point where it becomes soft and it becomes almost pickled. And then that's when you have it ready to be served.
So kimchi is fermented, and is it always cabbage or is it other things?
No, it could be something else. It could be other vegetables.
It could be anything.
Are you still bearing this in your backyard too?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. It's under the deck of Taster's Grill and Market. But just to touch on a few of the flavors that are in the pork belly braise, there's ginger, carrots, turnips, garlic, cilantro, sake, star anise, bay leaf.
Wow.
All those
this is
great,
amazing.
That's
great
why.
flavors.
So there's this wonderful sauce over it, and there's the pork bellies.
That's the veal demi. Yep.
So you're going to be serving that?
We're going to be serving that as our first course.
That's the first course?
The first course at the Pork Revolution. When you walk in, you're going to get a Serrano hand-wrapped shrimp, which will be paired with a sparkling wine. I believe it's going to be a Prosecco. And then you're going to have the pork belly. Then you'll have an orange and ginger glazed baby back rib, paired with a Sanctuary Mariah Ridge Zinfandel. And then a 5-spiced pork tenderloin with a foie gras demi with a jasmine lemongrass scented risotto.
Oink.
I think you've made us all
This is
very,
all
very hungry.
serious stuff here. We're going to
Right.
have some fun with it.
Okay, well,
No.
on that note, we're going to take a short break here. I'm Linda Gassenheimer, and we're talking about the Key Largo Food and Wine Festival. We're drooling about it, actually, with Bobby Stokey and Chef George Patty. We'll take a short break here, and we'll be back with more.
Great.
It's Food and Dining on Topical Currents on WLRN. You can read Linda Gassenheimer's Dinner and Minutes column in the Miami Herald and also online. Go to dinnerandminutes.com and click the columns icon for a link to her Herald recipes. And if you've missed part of the program or you want to hear it again, you can access the podcast from the Dinner and Minutes site at the on-air icon. This is 91.3 WLRN. We're funded by listeners like you and by Fertility and IVF Center of Miami, helping people overcome the hurdles of infertility for over 20 years and committed to reducing the stress associated with treatment. More information at 866-IVF-BABY.
Gable Stage at the Biltmore in Coral Gables presents Masked by Ilan Hatzor, an explosive play by an Israeli about three Palestinian brothers locked in a life-and-death struggle over issues of deception and betrayal. The Jewish press called it one of the gutsiest and most honest discussions I've ever seen in a play about the Middle East, leaves viewers on the edges of their seats. And the New York Times wrote, powerful, a thoughtful and sobering drama. Now through August 7th, tickets at 305-445-1119 or gablestage.org.
Friday on the Florida Roundup, no debt deal yet, and in the dog days of summer, the debate gets heated between two South Florida congresspersons. Cuts hit bone in Miami-Dade, where the potential loss of libraries is read loud and clear, and the corruption train continues through Broward. A former state senator is brought up on tax evasion charges linked to a politically connected eye doctor. I'm Phil Latzman, and join me in a panel of journalists. We review the week that was with your input, the Florida Roundup, Friday at noon here on WLRN.
And we're back. I'm Linda Gassenheimer, and we've been talking about the Key Largo Food and Wine Festival with Bobby Stokey. He's a restaurant owner, and he's an official at the festival. And with Chef George Patty. He's the chef and owner of Taster's Grill in Key Largo. And there's more great eating here in South Florida. Miami Spice is going to be starting very soon. That's August 1st, and it's going to run through September 30th. That means dinner at some of the top restaurants for $35 and lunch for $22. And they're going to have a very big kickoff event. Got lots of good food coming around this summer. Mm-hmm. Who said there's a season here? The kickoff event with live entertainment, tastings, demos, and book signings by the area's top chefs next Thursday. That's July 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. at the Miami Beach Convention Center. It's also a fundraiser. And for many charities. If more information, if you want to buy tickets, go to ilovemiamispice.com. Well, I love Dinner in Minutes, so it's Dinner in Minutes time.
All right.
All right. So here's a cool summer salad for these very hot evenings we've been having. It's a beef and it's a berry pasta salad. Now this is a one-dish meal, and you can have it ready actually in 15 minutes, no problem with that. There's all types of berries are right at the height of their season right now. The stores are filled with them, and they add a lot of color, a touch of sweetness to this tangy dressing. Now the dressing is made very simply. I take bottled mayonnaise, and add Dijon mustard, a little horseradish. And here's the secret I have, is you put a couple of tablespoons of warm water, mix it into this dressing, and it becomes like a sauce, so the mayonnaise isn't thick. Did you get that tangy feel to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, and here's another tip: if you're wanting to use mayonnaise a lot, you want to have a fresh flavor, just add a little lime juice or lemon juice to it, and that'll make it nice and fresh tasting. So here we're going to cook some pasta, and I've used Fusilio, the corkscrew pasta.
So it holds the sauce more.
Yeah, and it's easy to eat, or any kind of shortcut. Oh, I'm very impressed with your knowledge.
I'm quite a whiz.
You're learning. It's taken you a while, Joe, but you're getting there. Okay, so while the pasta boils, you saute some steak. And I use skirt steak. A couple of minutes each side, and it's done. But if you want, you can make it even faster. Use some deli roast beef, and then you won't have to cook it all. Or maybe some rotisserie chicken.
How do you cook the skirt steak? Just saute it?
Saute it a couple of minutes each side. 140, 145.
And you slice it on the bias?
You're trying to give us your,
You gotta
your culinary.
You got to go against the grain here, because if you don't, it's going to be tough. You're going to have issues.
All right.
Stringy.
Did you learn something else, Joe? Good.
Put that in my notebook.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so, excuse me. So then you mix your cooked steak, you sliced against the grain, cooked steak and your pasta. You mix it all with the sauce. And you line a plate with some lettuce leaves, and you put the steak and pasta on that, and then you sprinkle some of the berries on top. And it's very pretty, very simple, very easy.
Berries and steak.
Mm-hmm. It's a beef and berry salad. And, of course, that recipe, the complete recipe and a photo, is at dinnerminutes.com. But there's another quick and easy summer salad dinner in today's Miami Herald. It's my jerk chicken salad, and that's real simple and easy. And so you can have a real simple dish for the summer. Okay, now Fred's not here.
Right.
MTC.
What are we going to do?
Yeah. And he'll be with us next week. He's having vacation in what he thinks is cool Michigan. 100 degrees or whatever. Okay, so let's talk about some wine. George, Chef George, tell us, you've got some wine here that we're tasting that is going to go with your pork.
What we're tasting is the Pine Ridge Chenin Blanc Vonier. It goes really, really well with the braised pork belly. Once you eat a little bit of the belly and some of the kimchi underneath and get the chive oil in there, everything together, it pulls real nice melon notes.
So let me taste a little bit of this together with the, let me see. And now, now I've tasted this. I'm going to taste some wine with it. So what am I going to taste in this wine?
You're going to get some good stuff. You're going to get the melon notes and the honeysuckle.
I like how it mellows out the kimchi a little as well. You know, the wine almost becomes a little bit spicy instead of the food being spicy. So I think that's really kind of cool.
So what's the name of this wine?
That's the Chenin Blanc Vonier by Pine Ridge.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pine Ridge is a great producer.
Yep.
Uh-huh. So this is a food and wine festival. Can you tell us more about the wine at the festival?
There are tons of, there are basically over 100 different wines are going to be there. The festival is sponsored by Premier Beverage, and so they're out there beating the bushes, and so there's 100 different types of wine.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Bacardi's coming. I know that's not a wine thing, but Bacardi's there. We have
you gotta have rum. You gotta have. Come on, guys. You gotta have rum.
Rum is king, queen, and prince in the Keys.
That's absolutely
So they're going to tell
true.
us how to make these rum drinks.
They're going to take rum drinks. We have some really cool things other than just even wine. Because some people say, "Hey, well, I'm not so big on wine." I'm like, "Hey, that's all right," because we have a mixologist coming that's going to basically show you how to set up a bar, and not only how to set up a bar, but how to set up a bar meeting today's standards. Because today, we don't just make rum and cokes anymore. We're back to the old-fashioned drinks with a new twist.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned sidecars, things that are really kind of fun and interesting drinks, and with a new twist. So they're going to be doing that as well.
So is this a Bacardi mixologist, or is it your own, or who's coming?
These are mixologists from Premier. And
from Premier. They're going to come. And so we'll be able to taste while they're showing us how to make it?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We would have it no other way.
Okay. So tell us some more about the wine events there.
The wine events at the festival in general. One of the other dinners I forgot to mention earlier was the Food of the Gods. And this is one of the dinners. It's being put on Thursday, on August the 2nd by Calypso's. And,
Yes.
And for those of you guys, if anybody knows Todd, he is definitely...
You're going to have fun.
You're going to have a great time.
So
We're going to
Todd,
actually do I think a presentation together at the grand tasting. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, where is this restaurant?
Calypso's is in Key Largo. It's on Ocean Bay Drive. It's right across the harbor from Key Largo Fisheries, which is at mile marker 100 for the people that know the Keys, or actually mile marker 99. But it's 99 down on Ocean Bay Drive, right down on the Pilot. Well, we call it the Pilot House Marina. That's what pretty much everybody knows it by. But the Food of the Gods is octopus and lamb.
What is it?
Octopus and lamb. And it's cooked over an open pit fire and paired with wine. And I'm telling you, Todd, he is an amazing chef.
It's going to be fun.
So octopus and lamb is the food of the gods.
Food of the Gods.
Okay. So what do we? Do you know what we're going to be drinking with that?
I don't know what the wines are,
Okay.
and I should have, because I know they're already done, but I don't have his
That's
flyer.
all right. And so tell me something. I'm going down to the Keys, and I want to stay over. Obviously, I'm not going to go to dinner and drive back. Are the hotels involved in this?
The hotels are involved, and the best way to find out about the hotels is to use, again, that the chamber phone number, 305-451-1414.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, this sounds like a really exciting time that's going to be coming up in Key Largo, and I want to thank you both for being here because I know you're so busy getting it all set up. Bobby Stokey, thank you for joining us.
Oh, no problem.
Now, his restaurants, his many restaurants, his Sundowner, Senior Frijoles, Marker 88. How many restaurants have you got?
There are 8 total. So
Eight total. All right. And Chef George, Chef George Patty, thank you. And
You're
for
welcome.
the delicious food and the wine you brought for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll have to tell Fred. Fred doesn't often bring us wine.
I always travel with food. I always travel with food and wine, Linda.
That's a good idea. The Key Largo Food and Wine Festival runs from July 29th to August 6th. For more information, go to keylargofoodandwinefestival.com. And next week, we're going to be tasting. I'm going to bring in my favorite finds from the Fancy Food Show.
Well, that's always fun.
Yeah, we're discovering the new food trends as well. I'm Linda Gassenheimer. Join me then.
And that wraps up today's program. Our producer is Richard Ives. Technical direction from Bonnie Berman. Paul Leary gives production assistance, and Marcy Rosenbaum handle our phones. Find more information at the WLRN Facebook page. See upcoming programs, author and book links. Leave comments or questions as well. Today's recipe found at dinnerinminutes.com. Tomorrow at this time, it's Ed Bell and the South Florida Arts Beat. Monday's program looks at a white powder, a legal one, that's the nation's #1 addictive substance. We'll speak with Dr. Nancy Appleton about her book, Suicide by Sugar. And today's calendar on this day, 1938, 73 years ago, the birth of former state attorney and the only female U.S. Attorney General, Janet Reno, in Miami. She attended Coral Gables High, Cornell, and Harvard Law School. Also on this day in 1951, 60 years ago, the birth of actor and comedian Robin Williams in Chicago. He's won 2 Emmys and an Oscar for his role in the 1997 movie Good Will Hunting. And one more while we recall chimpanzee Fred J. Muggs. On this day in 1982, 29 years ago, the death of pioneer Today Show anchor Dave Garroway by suicide, age 69. He pioneered the easy TV talk format. Our theme music created by Michael Levine. And we leave with a thought from Janet Reno, who was portrayed by Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live. Quote, "I was personally opposed to the death penalty, and yet I think I have probably asked for the death penalty more than most people in the United States." This is Joseph Cooper. Thanks for making Public Radio your companion today. Stay tuned now for the Talk of the Nation from NPR News.